Guys, welcome to Tiffany Tells Testimonies podcast. Last time I did not give y'all a song. I know y'all need a song. I stepped in the water and the water was cold. Way in the water. I just gave you a little snippet. Step. But anyways, guys, welcome back to Tiffany Tells Testimony, episode 7, guys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Uno, dos, tres, cuatro, cinco, seis. You know, I don't know the rest. You know. Thank y'all. Guys, it looks different. Where are we at? I'm glad you asked. We are at Thirst Coffee Shop, guys, on 15th and Concord. Look it up. I don't know the exact address, but But this is a Black-owned coffee shop. This is kind of a full circle moment for me. Those of you may not know this, but my first time speaking about Tiffany Tells Testimonies was here. It wasn't even published yet. The book was not even published. It was just a manuscript, and the owner just believed in my project so much that he was just like, hey, just come to the coffee shop and do a workshop. And so that's just like, that was one of those things where I got favored. And so this kind of feels full moment for me, full circle. Andres, shout out to him. Thank you so much for the opportunity. And then through Andres, I met Jamal. Shout out to Jamal and his production company, G Fam Company. What's the G Fam Music Studios. He's in, what is it?
Media.
G Fam Media Studios, okay? Production, Jamal Gillis, get with him. He's been so good to me, but it's just a full circle moment. And I'm just thankful to be here in this space, in this place. So guys, I'm not here by myself. I ain't here by myself. I got a special guest with us today. Guys, I have a special guest. Guess who it is? It is Candice Thomas. Go ahead and clap it up for Candice Thomas in the building. Y'all, only God could get her here. Only God could get her here, and she is here.
Amen.
She is here with us today. So first question I always ask everybody when they come is, who is Candice Thomas? Who's Candice Thomas? Why don't you tell everybody who you are?
Well, first off, thank you for having me here.
Oh, thanks.
I appreciate it. I know it took everything to get me here.
Everything.
But we ain't going to talk about everything. But I appreciate you for having me. I really do.
Sure.
And Candice Thomas, just small town country girl from Rosebud, Texas. Mm-hmm. I'm a daughter. I'm a sister, Annie, a Thea. And then I'm a coach as well. So that's Candice Thomas.
What kind of coach?
Women's basketball.
Okay, women's basketball. I don't know if y'all noticed, but we showed up and we got matching shirts on. Look at us.
Look at that.
Look at God.
Look at that.
I got 2 shirts. I'm just telling y'all now so it can put some pressure on her. I only got 2 shirts. My poor little self, I only got 2 MCC shirts. So y'all just help her. Y'all tag her and hit her up and say, Tiffany needs some more shirts. Amen?
Amen.
Okay. I always say who the person is to me. And so I did some math,
Okay.
Because last time somebody asked us how long we've been friends, I was like 16 years.
Right.
But it has actually been 26 years.
26.
We are 26-year friends. I met you when I was 12.
Wow.
So if y'all do the math, y'all know how old she is. So 26 years we've been friends.
Wow. I have put up with you for that long.
God, now hold on. Now it's a good put up, okay? I'm a good person to have around.
Yes.
But I've known you for 26 years, and so since middle school, we met playing basketball. I'm gonna just say this publicly. I've never said this before. But you were the best basketball player coming out of our class. 06 class.
Y'all, this is breaking news.
I crossed my fingers. I see me cross my.
This is breaking news. I've never heard you.
I'm gonna give you kudos.
But listen, as long as we've been friends and as
26 years.
competitive as we've been, you've never said that.
I've never said that.
So I take that.
You take that?
Look, little pat on my back.
You're the best player I've ever played against, and
Okay.
the best player that came out of 06 class for sure.
Okay.
Hands down. I tell everybody I was like one of the best players in Waco that came from Rosebud, not Waco.
Right.
It's Candice Thomas.
Well,
so
thank you.
I talk about you behind your back.
See, because you definitely don't tell me
I can't say it in
nothing.
person. Look, her head already big. I can't help. I can't do that. So
You definitely don't.
So yeah, I am privileged to have you here. I'm privileged to have you in my life. You know, you have those friends that are just in your life, but friends that become family. And
Right.
you've known my family. You've been in my family. We've been around each other. And so
Right.
it's just been 26 years of just
Yeah.
figuring out life.
Figuring out life.
And here we are now.
Look at us.
Come on.
Just grown.
Just grown up. Just grown up. And so
Yes.
I'm excited to have you on the show because one of the privileges that I have gotten to be a part of in your life is be a part of your organization. And so Candice is the head coach of the MCC women's basketball team. You know, let me clap it over that. You know, Sherman. Let me clap it.
Yeah.
Clap it
put
up for
in
that.
there.
You
The
know?
head.
The head coach.
Head.
Head.
There you go. No,
You
I'm
know,
kidding.
the head coach. And so she has allowed me to come beside her during this time of 3 years. This is your third year, right?
Yeah.
3
Just
years to be
finished.
able to be like a life coach / chaplain for the girls. And it's been one of the best things that's ever happened in my life and really has produced a lot of purpose for me. So I'm grateful to have you on here because I
Yeah.
definitely want to kudos you and give you your flowers while you're still alive and can
Well,
still
thank
smell it. And I'm just very grateful for the opportunity. We'll talk about that a little bit later, but
Yeah.
let's just get on to the beginning.
Okay.
So you said Rosebud, Texas. Now, how many people live there?
Now,
No,
listen,
okay.
it doesn't matter how many
You
people
right.
live there,
Speak it. What?
because there's plenty of us that have come out of
Oh,
there.
come on.
And that's
come
what
on.
it's about.
Tell us all about it. So
But-
you from
but-
Rosebud, Texas.
Yes, and I make sure that I say that I am from Rosebud, Texas. I went off to college, and a lot of my teammates, when I would say Rosebud, Texas, had no idea
No idea.
about it. Even people in Texas don't.
Right.
But it was small country town, one red light. Grew up there. I'm excited about it because it's, you know, just being from the country.
Yeah.
Just what came with that in the standpoint of not having much, but having everything.
Yeah.
You know, and that's how the childhood was: fun, great times. Just had all of the family that was there. Everybody that was there was more, you know, more like family and stuff like that. But it was a lot of fun. It
Yeah.
really was. Like running the streets, you know, no shoes, just out having a good old time.
Just out here throwing sticks and
That's
collecting crafts and
catching crawfish, all that.
barefooted.
All of that.
Oh my gosh.
All of that.
Okay, so who were you raised with? Who was your people? Like you have sister brothers? What does that look like?
So my mom, and then I had an older sister and an older brother.
Okay.
And so from there we moved to Marlin. I lived in Marlin for 3 years, and then moved to Waco the beginning of my 8th grade year.
Okay.
So-
So you the baby.
I'm the baby.
So you got baby tendencies? Because you know baby siblings is something different.
You know, I was a little spoiled. You
little
know,
bit.
I watched the whoopings. I didn't get the whoopings.
And that explains a lot.
Yeah, you know, so I had a little, you know how it is being a baby.
Okay.
So,
Well, I don't know how it is. I'm the second
Well,
oldest, you know
that
what I'm
is true.
saying? But yeah,
that is
you
true.
was the baby of the family.
Yeah, I was. My dad never, well, he did. He whooped me one time. They
What'd you
said he
do?
started crying. I took off on my bike when I wasn't supposed to.
Look at you.
So-
Rebel. Took off on your bike, but he whooped you and he
And
cried.
they said he started crying.
Yeah, see, that's real spoiled. That's real. The daddy crying because he done whooped you.
Right.
Okay,
Right.
Jesus. Okay, so from Rosebud to Marlin.
To Marlin.
Okay, how long were you in Marlin?
And for 3 years.
3 years. Okay.
Yeah.
How was that?
It was good. It was good. I enjoyed Marlin. I didn't want to leave at the time, but thank God we did move, and I moved to Waco and got here at the beginning of my 8th grade year and didn't look back.
Yeah, and so that's that probably was life changing because you met me.
Right.
Life
right.
changing to move to Waco, and then here I am.
Yes.
Look at that. So
Yes.
our first interaction was through basketball.
Right.
How had you been playing before then? Was that your first time playing? Like, what was your basketball background like? When did you start?
I started in 5th grade.
Okay.
I started playing in 5th grade and played in 6th, 7th when I was in Marlin. Mm-hmm. And then I met a coach, Bobby Searcy.
Okay.
Met Bobby Searcy.
Shout out to Bobby.
Right.
Shout out to Mr. Searcy.
And when I met him, that's when he introduced me to Waco Ballers. And then that's, of course, how we met.
Right.
So, yeah.
Guys, I was the best person on the team at the time, Okay, I wasn't. But it was a good time. It was a good collective. I mean, there was a lot of people from here that came together. But there were some people that weren't from here
Right,
that he had
right.
on the team as well. And so this was the first AAU. Like, you
Yes.
know, it wasn't called that then. What was it
No,
called?
I don't know. It wasn't AAU though.
We were the AAU before the AAU.
Right, exactly.
So
Just summer ball, really.
dusty toes. Summer ball.
Right,
You know?
summer ball. That's it.
Yeah, we would travel. We would go stay in hotels,
Right.
like hang out, all the things. And
Yeah.
so it was a really good time, a really good chance to like really understand team dynamics and everything like that. And I think
Right.
we really became like family, you know, around that time.
Definitely.
And so I do remember something happening. We went to middle school together, 8th grade year.
Yes.
And then there was some type of agreement that happened, and then everything changed. What can you tell us about that?
I guess when I was supposed to be going to Waco High.
She's supposed to.
Yeah.
She was supposed to.
Listen, y'all, I switched from going to Waco High maybe 3 days before
3
school
days,
started.
guys.
3 days.
Hold on. How do y'all think that made me feel? This is my best friend. You know, we ride or die. She at my house eating hot Cheetos and Skittles. And left to go to university.
Yeah. I had to. My sister was at university.
Okay.
Seriously, she was at university, so it just made it easier from a getting a school standpoint.
Okay.
To go to university.
Well, one of my
best
episodes.
decision of my life.
Oh,
Yeah.
best decision.
One of the best decisions
Wow,
of my
that's
life.
intense. We had some episodes before about forgiveness, and I've already forgiven her, so it's done. I just had to bring it up, you know, that she left me. She left me. Her and my other 3 best friends at the time. My other 2 best friends
So
at the
you
time.
really should have come to university.
It wasn't
really.
happening. It wasn't.
That's what it sounds like.
I made a decision and I stuck with it, you know, so I just had to keep, you know,
I got you.
keep at it. But so you went to university.
Yes.
How was that? No, it wasn't great because I wasn't.
It was great. Like you mentioned, we had other teammates that was there as well.
For sure.
Obviously, with having my sister there.
Yeah.
But just the same girls that we played with in the summertime, able to play with them, you know, in school ball as well.
Yeah.
As freshmen, it was I think 4 of us that was on a varsity team. So it was really good. Like Coach Fontenot, great, you know, phenomenal. Everything was like family. Like it really was. Like even the player, he would come out in the summertime and watch us play, and just because he knew, you know, was hoping we would have come to university, and things like that. But it was really good. It was.
Yeah.
It was good.
I'm glad you had a good time. You know.
But
we stay friends.
But we stayed right.
We stay friends.
hung
I'm just giving
out.
her a hard time.
I was always at your house.
Always at my house.
You know?
eating my food. You
Yeah.
know, taking down my mama's hair. Like
All of that. All of that. Getting sherbet. That was her.
That's one of her favorite things to do. Get
Right.
sherbet, my granny, all the things. So
Yeah.
it was always we always stayed close, even though. And so I appreciate that. You know,
Yeah,
you
we
did go to a
did.
different school, but we stayed connected. And then you went to college. Where'd you go?
To the
Oh.
Prairie View A&M University.
Okay, Prairie View, all black college.
PV.
Oh,
No, just kidding.
excuse me, PV. Tell me about that. How did you choose to go to Prairie View out of all the colleges you probably could have went to? Why did you choose Prairie View?
One reason, if I'm being honest with you.
What's that?
Cynthia Cooper.
Cynthia Cooper.
That was-
The Cynthia
The
Cooper.
Cynthia Cooper. That was the reason. I mean, I was coming out of high school. I had a couple offers, UTA, UTSA, Sam Houston, things like that. But then crazy situation. One of my really good friends, I was at her house, and her classmate called her, and was saying, hey, have you talked to Boothie or whatever like that? And she was like, she right here. And so she said she was at PV trying to go be a manager like she was at university. And she said she just was walking through the athletic building and heard Cynthia Cooper and some of her coaches say Candice Thomas. And so she's like, Candice Thomas? Like, I know Candice Thomas. And then Coop was like, you know her, give her my number, tell her to call me. And true story, I remember going home telling my mom that I got Cynthia Cooper number, and she wanted me to call her. And I literally got home, called her. She didn't answer. She called me back, and when she called me back, I took out running down the street.
Backstory.
Like-
Cynthia Cooper
like, I took out
was
running.
the one.
That was it. And-
That's who you idolized. That's who you really.
Yeah, I did. I wore her shoes when I played in the summer. That was my idol. She was the best player in the WNBA to me. And it's like, and I tell people this, it's like from a guy standpoint, it's like Michael Jordan calling, recruiting you to come play for him.
Yeah.
I mean,
Who
it
say
doesn't
no?
matter where he's coaching at, you going.
You going.
And so,
So you got to play for the person you looked up to
Yeah.
in your whole basketball career.
yes.
No, not a lot of people get to do that. So
Right.
what an amazing offer.
It was. And people always ask me, like, how was it? You know, she's one of the coolest person you've ever meet.
Yeah.
Very down to earth, love the game of basketball, super competitive.
Yeah.
I tell people all the time I felt like she was the hardest on me because I played her position. But I think it just made me, you know, an even better basketball player.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was more than what I could have imagined.
Yeah.
But it was just, I was grateful for the experience, the knowledge, you know, that I was able to learn from a legend, the GOAT.
The GOAT. Wow.
Yeah.
And the great thing about it is the Houston Comets is coming back.
Right.
You know how cool that is?
Yes. Like
So
I was just watching a basketball game, and she was calling the game, and just to see her on TV and talking about the game and talking about, you know, the Houston Comets coming back and things like that.
Yeah.
And her being I don't want to say
One
the
of the founder.
reason,
One of the
but the
founding-
founders of the Houston Comets,
For sure.
and then winning those 4 championships. So,
Right.
So I'm excited for them to be coming back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so dope.
Yeah.
That's exciting. So let's get into it. So from college, what did you do next? Where was the next part of your journey?
So I came back home to Waco.
Okay.
And I started working at coaching at Carver Middle School.
Okay.
That's where I was coaching 7th grade basketball.
How was that?
Soccer and
soccer?
and track. Soccer.
What you know about soccer?
You know, I learned soccer.
Come on, soccer.
Like, I learned soccer. I used my resources
Come
with
on.
my high school classmates who played soccer. But coaching basketball, you know, obviously
Yeah.
that was my plan. That was my plan B if I wasn't playing.
Okay.
And so just coming back and getting an opportunity to coach at Carver, 7th grade girls.
Yeah.
Really, really good. We were city champs. Had some girls who had never played basketball before.
Yeah.
But it was great. It was great. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So from middle school, went to where?
From middle school, I volunteered actually at MCC.
Okay.
So I volunteered for probably about 5-6 months. And just the timing of how that happened, in a sense of me just wanting to volunteer to learn, to soak up, to gain knowledge, because I knew I wanted to coach on a collegiate level, and not knowing at the time that a situation at the time with the assistant that was there, just having to resign. And so as I was volunteering, the position came available. It became available, and I applied, and God blessed me with that opportunity.
So let's just pause right there.
Yeah,
You went to volunteer,
Yes.
and then the position became open.
yeah,
That just reminds me, guys, you know, let's just insert right there. You know, you never know what the opportunity could be, honestly, if you go and just, because a lot of people, they want the opportunity already.
Right.
They want it to come to them. They're not willing to give free service. And so the free service actually got you a job.
right,
And so I think that's a good testament of, like, go try it. Like, what you want to be, what you want to be around, go around it and see what
Right.
happens.
Right.
And so that's a cool little tidbit of, like, what you wanted to do, you got to be around, and then you got it.
right. And it was. I had no idea going into the situation that the opportunity was going to present itself. And so even now when people ask me, like, when you fast forward, I literally took that opportunity to learn, to gain knowledge, and so, you know, Coach Rose gave me that opportunity. And then obviously just being where you're supposed to be when you're supposed to be there. And God just, you know, seeing the work and the sacrifice of volunteering,
Yeah.
you know. And then when it presented itself, God blessed me with the opportunity.
Sounds like perfect timing.
Perfect timing.
The right place at the right time in the right
Yes,
season.
It was.
And
It
so
was.
you went from volunteer to assistant coach. How long were you assistant coach for?
I was the assistant coach for 9 years.
9
So
years.
yes, for 9 years, and it was great. Like, it was a really good experience. Like,
Yeah.
I learned so much for 8 years. I was under Coach Rose, and then Coach Brock got the job my 9th year, and so he wanted me to stay. He wanted me to stay at MCC, and I stayed. And again, just another opportunity to learn, to soak up. And I knew eventually that, I wanted to become a head coach. And so a lot of people would ask me, because in the college ranks, what a lot of people don't understand is when you become a coach, everybody's like, well, what's next? Where you going next?
Yeah.
Where you going here? Where you going? And opportunities were presented as I was an assistant. But if you would have asked me, what I wanted, what for myself as far as goals and what I wanted to do, if the opportunity presented itself, I wanted to be the head coach at MCC.
Okay.
And so it was just a situation, honestly, of just staying still. Like it really was. And I had other opportunities. I could have gone and been an assistant at a Division I school, different things like that. But it was, what God had for me.
Yeah.
And so I stay put. I continue to learn. I continue to grow.
Yeah.
And so then you fast forward to March of 2023, and the head coach position comes available.
Let's pause real quick.
Yes.
The name of the title of this episode is Perseverance. And
Okay.
so I thought about that because of your story. So a lot of people, they say they want something, but they don't want to wait. Wait on the Lord. They don't want to wait.
Right.
And so you were a volunteer, assistant coach for 9 years.
Yes.
And then the opportunity came about. What was it like to like what was those moments of like when you really, because there's probably moments where it was like, man, I really want another position, but you decided to stay. Like, what kept you to stay?
And if I be honest with you,
Yeah.
I never was like, I'm ready to be a head coach.
Okay.
Like, I never felt like that. I really didn't. It was just it was so much of, obviously when you're a player, you know the game and learn the game from a different standpoint, and then you become a coach.
Yeah.
And then it's like you learn it then again from a different point of view.
Yeah.
And so people would ask me how long I was going to be at MCC and what was next, but it was never like I wanted to do this. I kid you not. Like I would pray, I would ask God, I would trust God, and it was, this is where I want you to be. Like seriously. And so I think that's another reason that it was like meant to be. Because some people get in situations and positions and immediately want to elevate and move up. But for me it was just like, I'm going to be present, I'm going to be where my feet are, and I'm going to continue growing. And when God decides that it's time for me to elevate, then I want to make sure that I am ready.
Yeah.
And that's what it really was all about.
Man, that's so good. It's like you were gleaning. You were taking the time to really soak up the information, the experience, and all those things got you full.
Right.
And then when it was time to go to the position, you got to go ahead and get it on out and show what you did. So I think that's so beautiful, because I think a lot of people, they forfeit the blessing. That means they literally have been at this time, at this place, and God's about to give them a position, an elevation, and then they be like, I'm done. And they don't know if that next week, it could have been the opportunity. But because because really the pressure comes at the end. When you're right before you're about to elevate, it gets real hot. The steam, the boils, you get boiling. But the fact that you stayed 9 years and continued at it, and then what happened? Tell me what happened after the 9th year. What happened?
Well, it's crazy because I didn't know that Coach Brock was only going to be here for 9 months. I'm thinking, hey, this is a coach who's coming over from Baylor, who have won championships, like the knowledge that I'm about to gain. Like just everything that I was ready to receive. And so he got an opportunity to be a Division I head coach that he was, wanting to be. And so he became, a head coach. And then here I am, with the opportunity again. And so I feel like, honestly, that's when I was ready. That's when God knew, like, now this is for you. Because a lot of people even ask me, after Coach Rose left, like, you gonna be the head coach? You should be the head coach. You should be,
Yeah.
And again, it was like, if this is what God has for me, then I will be.
Yeah.
But it wasn't that time because Coach Brock came in. So God is like, hey, I still got something I need you to learn. I need you to learn.
Come on.
And he did, and I feel like I'm so blessed and grateful, because I know that it was everything that I still needed to learn. And I was just obedient.
Yeah.
Like I just was. I was, wasn't like, okay, now it's my turn. I should be now because I've been here for 8 years. This should be my opportunity. I never felt like that.
Yeah.
I applied for the position. What a lot of people didn't know, I actually did apply.
Okay, the first time.
The first time after Coach Rose, but I didn't get it. And so I obviously I wanted it, but it wasn't nothing that I was angry or upset.
Yeah.
It was like, okay, they hired Coach Brock. Here is what now I get to learn. From this champion, from who has done it at the highest
Because
level.
you could have easily left after that.
I could
after
have.
you got rejected, you
Right.
could have been like, that's it. But you
Right.
decided to stay the student
To stay the course. Stay the course.
and become the teacher later.
Right.
I just love that. I love that because I think people don't value obedience. They don't value God's like plans.
Right.
Like we have plans, God has plans. And when we align ourselves with the plans, usually God's plans trumps everything.
Absolutely.
And so it's
Right.
like we end up doing his plans. But the fact that you waited, the fact that you heard him say wait, the fact that you didn't get anxious
Right.
and try to make something up, because you could have dipped out, you could have left, you could have raised the fuss. I've been here for 8 years. I ain't give me this
Exactly.
job.
Exactly.
I'm about to blow this mug up.
Right.
But you didn't. You didn't
Right.
blow it up.
Right.
You stayed and you continued to stay a student until it was time to become the teacher.
Right. Absolutely.
So what's it like being a teacher? What was that? How did it feel when you got the position? Like what was the feeling for you? What was, yeah.
It was surreal, if I'm being honest with you, because this is what I've worked for.
Yeah.
This is the vision that I did see. And here I am, all of the hard work, the sacrifice, the perseverance through the rejection, so to speak.
Yeah.
And here you are, this is the time, now. And so I was just so grateful. I was grateful. I was excited for what was to come. But I knew that I was ready and I was prepared because of what, what God put me through.
Yeah.
And what I was, just sacrificed.
Yeah. The long time got you ready.
Exactly. And so I remember getting the call from the athletic director, and I immediately just started crying. Just started crying because I'm like, being able to be the head coach of McLennan College, like that's a big deal.
It is.
That's a
is.
huge deal.
It is a big deal.
And so it was just now that all of the sacrifice and everything you've done is just being rewarded now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, see?
Yeah.
When you be still
Right.
and know that he is God, everything will come to you. I think a lot of people, and I'm guilty of this, where I've gone before God. Like he's shown me a snippet of something, and I'm like, duh, 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 duh. He's like,
Right.
what? Hold on, grasshopper.
Yeah.
Slow down. And my feet are like, I don't.
Right.
He's like, hold on.
Yes.
And just to hear your story about like waiting on God's timing, waiting on his orchestrating, because God puts certain pieces together to connect,
Right.
so you can get to the next path. But sometimes we go around the mountain and all the
Right,
things.
right.
And so I think it's beautiful to hear how he orchestrated this story.
Right.
How he wrote the words to this story that you have. And so you now you're the head coach. You found out you're the head coach. What was that first season like?
It was good. Like it was exciting. It is a lot different one seat over.
Yeah.
Because everything now relies on you, whether good or bad.
Right.
Obviously when you do bad, it's the coach's fault. When you do well, the players are them some good players.
Right. Yeah. Where you get them from?
Right. The coaches hardly get credit. But it was everything that I envisioned, everything that I wanted. I just felt I was nervous. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah,
My
for
first game, it was
Blend.
on the road
Yeah.
at Blend.
Yeah.
And I was excited though, just for the opportunity, but I just felt prepared. And when you're prepared, the anxiety doesn't last too long.
Yeah.
The worry, before the game, obviously, but once the ball got tipped, I was good. I just felt like it was natural. I was in my element.
That's what I used to feel when I played in college. Like,
Yeah.
the feeling before the game is like, the bubblies. And
Right,
then
right.
when the ball drop, it's like, let's
You
go.
forget You
Let's
forget
go.
everything. You just, you do what it is that it takes to be successful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the first season, how'd y'all do? What?
We actually won our conference for the first time in 17 years.
So hold on 1 second. To God's unchanging hand.
Yes.
Your first year.
First year.
One conference.
Yep. One conference for the first time in 17 years. 17 years.
If that ain't God, I don't know.
Listen.
If that ain't God.
Listen. Yes.
How was that? Like, how did that feel or what? Like,
It was, and something I'll tell you, I'm competitive.
I don't know if y'all know that.
I'm sorry, you know that. But
know
for
that.
the people, like I'm competitive,
Yes.
you know, and so I do whatever it is to be successful, to win, you know, and so I feel like preparation again with, obviously you gotta recruit the right players.
Yeah.
You know, you gotta prepare them the right way. Attention to detail, all those good things. But we got to conference, played a really good competitive non-conference schedule, and then to prepare us for conference, got to conference and won 14 games, lost 2, and we were able to be conference champions.
wow.
Yep.
The favor of the Lord.
The favor.
Speaking of competitive, since you brought that up, you know, when we were little,
Oh,
you know,
Lord. Let's pause. Let's go back.
when we was little, you know, we would play one-on-one with each other.
All the time.
And then it was like, we would be playing,
Right.
and then it would get serious. We didn't want to fight each other.
Right,
You know,
right.
because you were foul. You know, you was a fouler.
Come
you know?
on now.
She always foul. You know, she would pinch me. And so, you know, I just wanted to bring that up because that just felt like a good insert right there.
No.
Back to what we was.
If you gonna tell
What's the
tell
truth?
the truth.
What's the truth?
We will be playing.
Yeah.
It will get competitive coming
Yes.
down to the end, and you wanted to start fouling.
Oh, what?
Yes.
That is crazy.
Every time. It never failed.
Wow.
It never
And
failed.
who
I
won?
don't even think we ever finished.
We
Did
never
finish the
finished.
game?
We never finished. We never finished. We would end up walking away mad.
Right,
Because, you know, you cheated.
You cheated.
Because you cheated. Anyway, back to the story.
Okay.
First year conference champs.
Yes.
Do you feel like the pressure for the next year was to do the same thing, or what was that like? Like, you know, your first year you're starting off hot. You know, it's just like that's kind of rare.
Right.
Usually a program is struggling with so many changes, but
Right.
you started off like hot.
Yeah.
So what was that like to maintain the second year?
I think it not necessarily pressure.
Yeah.
You know, it was more so the expectation. You know, the expectation is to
Do the
be
same thing.
successful, to win. You know, and not just as a women's basketball program, but as an athletic department at McLennan, like at MCC, it's the expectation is to win.
Yeah.
And so I think that was the standard.
Yeah.
You know, and just recruiting players, bringing in players the next year that understood that.
Yeah.
And so, again, in the second year, we win it again, you know? So now we're back-to-back conference champions.
Won it again.
Again, yeah.
Is that rare?
I mean, yeah.
Right.
It is.
It's
It
rare.
is.
It sounds like the favor of the Lord.
the favor.
Wow.
Seriously.
So twice back to back.
Right.
I'm like, I'm trying to, you know, I'm hyping up. I was there, but I'm still like, wow. Wow, guys. But it is a big deal.
Yeah.
It's a big deal to go from, you know, what it came from, and then you get in that position and it elevates.
Right.
Like, how did that make you feel as a person, as, you know, a person that loves the game and
Right.
is now like coaching it?
I don't know. I was just so grateful.
Yeah.
Like I was just so grateful. Something that I can say is, even with my playing career, I've always won. I've always won championships. And so for me,
Yeah.
that was my motto. That is the expectations, even for myself as a coach now.
Yeah.
You know, it's
Championships.
to win championships.
Yeah.
And so it was just, again, you know, the favor, the
Yeah.
timing, again, of God making all of this possible.
Yeah.
And so with winning conference back-to-back years, you know, that hadn't been done either.
Yeah.
And so it was just grateful for the players that I had,
Right.
you know, grateful for my assistant coach,
Yeah.
who obviously, you know, I get a lot of the blame or the praise rather, but it, you know, it took more than just myself.
For sure.
You know, obviously having the right players and the coaching staff with you as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So here we are, year 3. How was year 3?
Year 3, it was different from a standpoint of not winning conference.
Okay.
You know, but it was still, you know, each season, just like in life, is just a learning season.
Yeah.
I think this year it was different because we went out and recruited a lot of different transfers.
Okay.
You know, and so just having to mesh, navigate, try to get everybody on one accord. You know, when you have sophomores, their main focus is trying to be recruited and getting out. You know, at the same time trying to get them to keep everything the main thing. You know, and then that's winning, obviously.
Yeah.
But it was, although we fell short of those goals as far as winning conference, we still had a successful year.
Yeah.
I mean, we won 25 games, lost 6.
Yeah.
So even I have to be mindful, because some people, I felt like not a failed year at all, but just not a year of where we won the championship.
Yeah.
And so I know I've had a lot of coaches, you know, just in the business still congratulate me on a phenomenal year. And so I had to take a pause and just, you know, just evaluate everything and just like, you know, it was a really good year.
Yeah.
You know, we fell short of the goals of winning, but all 8 of my sophomores graduated. You know, some of them have signed to continue playing.
Yeah.
And so that was the great part about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, year 3.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We in the building.
Yeah.
So I want to ask this question because it's important to me. I was thinking about this.
Okay.
If you had to, and this might get you in trouble now. You don't got to name drop no names.
Okay.
Okay, but if there was a player that you've coached thus far, has anybody, do you see yourself in them? Like the way they play? Like, is there a player that you've coached where you're like, I used to play like that. Like I could see my game in that player, or is there multiple players that you've coached?
Honestly, I don't think I've had a player that played, you know.
Oh, ain't nobody as good as you?
No, I didn't say that. I did not say that. Ain't nobody as cold as me. No, I didn't say that. But I think just from a standpoint of mixing being competitive to the IQ of the game, to the skill of the game, all in one, you know, humbly speaking. So from that standpoint, you know, I don't think I have.
Okay.
No. Yeah. I wish though. I'm looking when I'm recruiting. I'm looking for some needs.
You have like 2 out of 3. You haven't had all 3. Like, you know, when somebody
together collectively in one player.
Yeah.
Now I've had players that have understood the game, that has the skill, you know, the competitiveness, but like all together. Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't yet,
right.
But I'm hoping in this coming up class,
this class right here,
season,
it's gonna be different.
Yeah, that I got some players that's like that for sure.
Okay, so I'm thinking about your whole story in the totality. I mean, you ain't going yet to Jesus, so praise the Lord. But I'm just thinking about your whole story, and your story is a testament of endurance and perseverance. You know, what advice would you give somebody who is probably an assistant coach right now? You know, in a position of eventually wanting to be a head coach? What advice would you give them to, you know, stay the course? Like, what would you say to them? Like, how would you encourage them from your testimony? Because this is a testimony to stay in something and then to overcome the possibility, because there was rejection, there was like, you got to wait longer, but you stayed the course. And so a testimony is when you be able to like come out of something and be an overcomer. And so you overcame like the weight, the rejection, and got the position. So what would you say to somebody who is in a position right now of assistant coach? They've been there for a while. They're getting weary. They're getting like, I don't know, you know, they don't want the coach to die off or nothing, but they just, you know, they're waiting for their position, their chance to like get a position as a head coach. What would you tell them to encourage them?
I probably would say about staying the course.
Okay.
And just being where your feet are. Because I believe that you also want to be prepared when your number's called. Yeah. You know, like you don't want to be like, I want to be this, I want to do this, I deserve this, but are you ready for this?
Are you ready?
You know? And so that would probably be what I would say. You know, while you're waiting, wait and make sure you're learning, you're growing. Yeah. You know, you're being a sponge, because the opportunity is going to present itself. Yeah. And the biggest thing is, are you ready? You know, like, are you ready when
your number call?
When your number call, when this blessing is presented to you. So I think that's probably what I would
stay the course.
Stay the course.
Be the student.
Be the student. Be where your feet are, and just make sure you're prepared and ready.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, Miss Thomas. You know, they called her Boothie, but I never called her Boothie. You said Boothie earlier. People were like, "Who's that?" Like nobody knows who that is.
Everybody knows who that is.
I never called her Boothie.
Everybody knows who that is.
You know, I had T-Lo. You know, everybody knew me T-Lo. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Who is that?
That's before my days now. Come on now. But yeah, I'm grateful to have you on here. Like I said, we've been friends for a very long time, and I think even to see your life, to see how you've grown, and you know, you let me tell y'all, she used to say nothing. She was quiet. Quiet. I'm the one that talked a lot, which I don't know if y'all can't tell because I don't. I don't really talk that much, but she would not say nothing. Everybody be like, "What she think?" She would just be like,
"Because
why did you?"
Listen, seriously. I was very shy. Very shy. And that's why I'm grateful for you, if I'm honest, because you did make me, you know, come out of my shit. You made me talk.
Oh, yeah?
When we were younger, you made me talk. But even this position, honestly, like I remember you telling me a couple years ago that this position, you could tell that this position has made me, you know, come out of my comfort zone.
Yeah.
And open up and be able to communicate and talk.
Yeah.
And so now you fast forward and you still like to talk, and I'm getting a little bit better.
Yeah.
A little bit better.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's how it was though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And look at you. That's the part of growth.
Right.
You know, once we were a little seed.
Yeah.
Now we're a whole tree out here.
Yes.
We're living fruit.
Right.
Hanging fruit. And so I think I love to see the coach side of you. I know the other side of you. I know many sides of you, but it's like it's good to see you develop into the woman that you are today. I know your mom will be proud. I know anybody that knows you from Rosebud or Moreland will be proud to see who you've become. And I thank you for the position that you've allowed me to be in, you know, which is to bring, you know, the gospel into the locker room pretty much, and life coach, and just kind of why'd you let me come in? You know, did you pray about that?
No, definitely did. No, but I'm glad you asked me that, because a lot of people, what I mentioned earlier, is a lot of people look at the head coach. When you talk about a team and you look at how successful they are, or, you know, how unsuccessful they are, but a lot of people don't see the behind the scenes that go into that. And so even now, you know, I want to thank you, seriously. And I've done this, you know, thanked you before, but I want to thank you again for the part you play in. Now, everybody's seen us win conference back-to-back years. Everybody's seen us win the regional tournament, you know, for the first time in 41 years. But you had a lot to do with that, in the standpoint of keeping their minds together, you know, like just being that success coach, being that, you know, they talk about it being a village, but also having you know, someone that they can also relate to, because obviously you played JUCO basketball, from the spiritual side of just being there for them, praying for them, you know, coming and being with them. It was supposed to, y'all, it's supposed to have been an hour that she was supposed to be with my team on Fridays, y'all. But it be turning into 2-3 hours.
And then what did I tell you? Don't be me, it be them. They want to talk and tell me, pass the tip, pass the tip. I'm like, listen.
But just grateful for you. Even before the games, when, you know, they want you to be there. They want you to pray for them as a team, but then individually as well. But you being willing and sacrificing, you know, even your time, because you asked me what made me. I knew, obviously, with what you know, getting into, and I know we've had conversations of you wanting to be like a success coach, you know, for collegiate sports. Yeah. And I thought that this would be a perfect opportunity with me becoming the head coach. And we came in this together. Yeah. Like when I became the head coach, you was right there with me, you know, being our success coach. And even from a recruiting standpoint, we sell you too. Like you are a part of our pitch, you know, just from the standpoint of the gospel side of just them understanding, when you come here, you're going to have somebody that's going to pour into you, you know, as a basketball player, but also as a student, as a young woman, you know. And then with you being there and being able to meet some of them when they come on visits and meet their parents, you know, as well, like all of that is huge for our program as a whole. And so you've been, you know, willing to do that. And I wanted that to be a resource for them to be able to have, you know, because a lot of schools have the chaplains and FCA for Fellowship of Christian Athletes that's offered to student athletes. And so just being able to have that here at MCC has been really good for us.
Yeah. Well, thank you. I wasn't setting you up to talk about me and give me a compliment, but thank you. I appreciate it.
I had to. That's part of the story, seriously.
Yeah, well.
It really is. I mean, I forgot this, got on the bus with us a couple times,
Yeah.
you know, like, it's a village,
I done
for real.
took some trips, you know.
Yes.
It's been, it's been challenging.
Yeah.
You know, it's been a lot of things, but it's really a something that I think was the beginning of the start of me realizing I could be like a mother. Being around these young women that are like hungry and looking for representation, looking for somebody to connect with and everything. And so I feel like it was God put me in a position to learn another side of myself. And so I'm thankful for you. You know, when those people be like, when I make it, I got you. And it's like, they never.
What I do? You better tell them.
You brought me with you. Because people say that, but they be like, I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know where to go. And so you are a woman of your word, and you brought me along, and it's been a beautiful journey.
Yeah.
Not only just to be a part, but to see you in your space. And so I'm thankful to have you on Tiffany Tells Testimonies, telling your testimony.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Sharing what the Lord has done in your life, endurance, perseverance. And man, we're looking forward to see what God has for you.
Absolutely. I'm excited. I'm excited for this this new season.
Yeah.
You know, even from the standpoint of the growth on my end, too, because every year I feel like there are things that God that teaches me, shows me, for me to be better in different areas, to grow as a coach, but also a mentor, whether it's sometimes a mother figure, all of those good things. So I'm excited for just that aspect of growing, for sure.
Yeah. Well, come on and grow, tree.
Listen.
Grow, tree. Grow, tree, grow. Well, guys, thank y'all for joining us. Man, it's been a beautiful journey to talk and just for y'all to continue being on this journey with me as I share these stories of these wonderful people that come in and share what the Lord is doing in their life. And so thank you guys, and we'll see you next time. Peace.
Peace.
You.